Hi everybody, Zach here for another episode of our flagship program, The Spideydude Experience. This episode is brought to you by our loyal patrons over at patreon.com/Spideydude Network. Pledge today and get both early access to content on the main channel, as well as entirely exclusive content, like brand new shows and commentaries for old Spidey stuff, including commentaries for the MTV series, for example, as well as the video editions for Voices from the Eyrie Gargoyles Podcast. And our Patreon first show focused on the Krakoan era of X-Men. We also want to encourage you to check out our other programs that are all available on Audio Edition. These are all over on Spideydude.com, and they're available on your favorite podcasting app. Shows like Clone Saga Chronicles, the show that started this entire network, Spectacular Radio, Spectacular Sal Buscema era podcast, Amazing Spider-Man Classics, the Slot Symposium, and the sister program on this channel, Make Mine Mayday. As always, be sure to hit the like button. It really does help us big time in the algorithm. And additionally, if you have topics you'd like to cover on a live show or in a recorded medium, make sure to leave a comment down below the description or shoot us an email at SpideyDudeRadioNetwork@gmail.com. Finally, make sure to join our community. Be alerted to all new updates by hitting that subscribe button and clicking on the bell. But to be clear, your viewership is more than enough for us. And if you want to hang out with us off YouTube, you can always go to our Discord, where we have all sorts of fun stuff, or you can join us on our social medias and follow us there. All the links are down in the description below. As always, we want to be making some references to visual aids and or live comments. If you're an audio listener, pay that no mind, but leave that 5-star review for us. Any and all feedback we will read on future episodes. Thank you, and without further ado, let's get rolling with this episode of the Spideydude Experience. And we are live here watching on we are live here on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Another episode of the Spideydude Experience. This particular episode is one of it's a spectacular Spideydude experience. And as always, I am joined by the producer of the program, Neil Bogenrieder. Hello, Neil.
I am God, and the world would collapse without my presence.
It would.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Adam, hailing from parts unknown.
Hi.
And the host of Voices from the Eyrie Gargoyles Podcast, we've got Greg Bishansky.
Hello.
And last but not least, the prettiest person in the room.
It's me, motherfucker.
No, wait a minute. Hold on.
I was say, hang on, that's me. That's my cue again.
There might be someone prettier. No offense, Ashley.
No, I know. I've lost that title tonight.
Listen,
sure.
Bishansky's
I
putting
don't
up
know
tough
about
competition.
that. It's a little horrifying, but so you might, if you're watching us on YouTube, you notice that my camera is not on. So you might be wondering why, because it was all about the big reveal. So I lost a bet to Walter.
Everyone, drum roll. It's just me. Okay. Oh shit! There we go.
Dun 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 dun.
Dun dun dun.
Walter
Dun, 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 dun.
spent his own money and sent me a Spider-Gwen costume, complete with wig. And so if you are not watching us and you're listening to the audio edition, you have no idea what's going on. But I, for the first time since 2006, have hair on my head. So
that's
you may roast me in the comments. We already got the side eyes. I am not standing and spinning because I do not want to get us demonetized, Walter, because my kibbles and bits would be hanging out. So I'm not going to do that. So
don't put it like that. Hang on, Zach. Look at the camera. I need this for the thumbnail of the video. There we go. That's a looker right there.
That is it. 10 out of 10.
I'm gonna get a head on that. I'm gonna do that one for free. I don't even care.
Listen, you can never say that I don't do anything for the content. So there is also a mask. Also, this is riding up my ass, and I will probably not be able to keep this on because also the gloves I can't use my computer with the gloves.
It's killing his circulation.
Yeah.
Oops.
Vinkman? Well, yes.
I've been asking myself this entire time, so.
I am laughing so hard right now.
There is a special place in hell for where we're going.
Oh, I just
me,
jumped in and
for me,
saw
it's a
Zach's
throne.
reluctant face with a wig. What a start. Thanks, Radiac.
Oh, shit.
I hate it here. Earth, I mean.
Don't wish you got in the Bears hat.
I would have wore the Bears hat all stream. I can't wear this. This is riding up my literal ass.
You're saying you don't want to get demonetized. Here you come in going like, hey, it's riding up my ass, riding up my ass.
Bye, YouTube.
The 8 deaths of Zach.
Damn it, don't give Walter any ideas. He's going to get me more costumes to have to wear on
Please
stream.
do. Please do. It got me to get on spec again, so. Yes.
Yep.
The wig actually looks really comic accurate. The jawline doesn't sell it, though. I'm sorry, Zach.
It's the beard.
Yeah.
I wasn't shaven again.
Thank
Who is my daddy? His name is D. That's my daddy. It ain't you.
Oh, I thought you said it was starting with D. And then I realized, oh, wait, that's his dad. Simp. Simp. For Ashley, he will. Simp. Saying it. All right.
I shouldn't have said it out loud. Fuck me. Can you at least get some, like, dude costumes? I'll wear a Spider-Ben costume.
Or
Or
you want that too much.
Yeah, well.
And it's not like you
ask
can
for
even wear them
ask for the
after
opposite.
before.
Ask for the opposite, and they'll give you what you actually want. Or no, wait. Now he's on to us.
he
Said
won't.
it on air.
He's that much of an
there we
ass.
go. There we go. Zach is Black Cat. Oh,
I do
boy.
have that outfit, so.
I've got an idea, guys. Hear me out. Actually, how fast can you get that costume to his place?
Look at him, because he knows what the costume looks like. We definitely will get demonetized.
Hang on, I've got an idea. Zach, how do you feel about wearing the Black Cat costume from the 90s?
Too modest.
Oh,
The double-
you mean
the
the one that
double
goes all like
costume.
the one that goes like down to my crotch?
Oh, that one.
Yeah, I know which one he was talking about. Yeah, we definitely get demonetized for that. And he'd be seeing this hairy-chested love god looking like David Lee Roth.
He lost a bet to Walter. That's why he's wearing a wig. And
That's why I'm wearing the wig. And
Holy shit, Walter's going for it.
oh no. It also has a hoodie. So there's that. I
that
can't
really
even zip
sells
it.
Hang on, Zach, why do you look like the Arbiter from Halo?
I don't know.
No,
Can you
Zach,
get-
you don't have to keep making bets.
He's a
You know,
gambling addict.
Yeah.
Please don't be like Zach, guys. This is a PSA. Please don't be like Zach. Don't take a gambling addiction.
we all need to wear shirts that
Remember the
say PSA
Remember the
and just have
spectacular
his face on it in the
Yeah.
outfit.
Remember the spectacular Spider-Man episode where Mark Allen, because he was a gambling addict, ended up becoming in debt to Green Goblin?
Guys, it's a lock. It's a lock, I promise.
This is an even better PSA than that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Venkman's
I just
like...
hope Greg's not watching because he's going to be like, what the f is going on? He'll never speak to us again.
Yeah, he will.
Venkman, yeah, it's hilarious that we all thought of the same 90s Black Cat costume.
The most impractical costume in the history of comics.
Yeah, the
For some
one...
reason, my mind went to the 90s cartoons first, and I have no idea why.
Because it's the one that Zach has the best proportions for.
Probably.
I don't have any proportions. What are you talking about? I'm built like Hank Hill.
Do I look like I know what a JPEG is?
Damn it.
Hold
Damn it,
on.
Bobby.
I got a private message from my friend Kevin, who at Convergence, he was at Convergence. He cosplayed as Antoinette Dracon from the current Gargoyles comics. He has my approval as a drag enthusiast.
Cool. All right.
I lie.
We're gooped and gagged.
I'm so excited right now. I really love this. I think this needs to be like a constant.
Zach's fashion segment should be a new Spectacular Spider-Man
It should be.
companion piece. Yeah.
You'll see my red. This is my embarrassment. It's fine.
You need to do a thank you short around the holidays in the costume. That's it.
Oh, that should be your YouTube short uniform.
Oh no, no.
Get on the
You
green
could do
screen.
Santa
Get on
baby.
Get on the green
Okay.
screen.
I'll put the
Whoa.
I'll do the wig on a YouTube short. On a YouTube
The wig. The wig is nothing.
Okay, maybe I'll do one YouTube short with the outfit.
That pause was perfect. I could not
It
have
was.
timed that any better. Thank you. Wait, if Zach's Hank, who's Dale? I guess I am. Or no, hang on, Adam, you have the right hair. You could do that.
Oh god, there's people walking by my apartment right now.
Oh my god, go outside and let them see you for the real you.
No,
It's Texas. I don't know if he can.
I might get shot. I got me an extra large.
An extra large what?
Okay, what size was this? Because this sort of fits, except it's very
It's
tight.
sort of.
I mean, it's female too. You have to think of that. I'm 99% sure those don't come in unisex.
Yeah.
So, and women have shorter torsos. So yeah, I know that's riding hard. I'm sorry.
Hang on, Zach, what if we got you the web weaver costume?
Look at his face. Oh,
Baby, look at the baby.
oh,
Why?
just
What
a
are you
baby.
doing? What are you doing? Okay. I'm.
I don't know
sweating.
who I would be.
Did we do I don't know, Peggy, I guess, just by virtue of
You can be Peggy. That's fine. All right, so I am going to put the mask on because
So here's a dumb question. Did you guys talk about New York Comic Con last episode?
we did talk about it, but we didn't talk about it with. It was just me and Adam last episode. So this is where I hide my shame.
I can't shake the Arbiter from Halo vibe.
The mask is cool though.
Can we,
I do
we
like
can
the
get-
mask.
you think we can get Keith David to voice over this with like Arbiter quotes? Kill me or release me, parasite, but do not waste my time with talk.
I've got his email address.
Oh my god.
Clutch. So clutch right now.
Greg's coming in clutch for the whole show right now. Anyways,
The problem with this mask is I cannot see. Like I can't read the damn.
well, you're not muffled. That's actually pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. Use my AirPods.
Venkman, since you're asking who's who, I'll just say this. I'm Cotton.
Hank, you're useless. You piece of shit.
The pink really brings out my eyes. Shut up, Walter.
I
Was
saw
Ashley hoping to be Luann?
saw her face.
She's
No
too smart
way.
to be Luann.
No way. I want to be Bobby if I'm being honest.
That's my purse. I don't know you.
That's me.
Your mom's
What
gonna be
the
like,
hell is this show? I love
Kick
it.
Zach in the dick. He just needs an excuse.
There's 37 people watching us live.
And they're all better for it.
They're like, we're never tuning in again. Turn the
All right, Zach, hang on. Why don't you go get changed and we'll talk
he
about
looks
New York
cool
Comic.
like that.
Yeah, but
I'm fine.
personal comfort. Oh god, here we go. He's gonna try.
I'm gonna try it.
Oh god, he said a
voicemail.
voicemail is required for. Oh shit.
All right, let's rock and roll. All right, so I don't think we have any news for once. There's not even like Marvel. There's like some re-releases on Marvel Legends, but that's it.
There were solicits for 8 deaths that just came out today.
Oh yeah.
Deadpool
But-
and Wolverine streaming now too. That's
Yeah.
happening.
I already watched
Spider-Man's fucking dead for real this time, guys. We're definitely gonna let our cash cow die.
Well,
Doubt
And
that.
apparently the book is turning into an X-Men title now. Which, sure, fine by me, I guess. But, you know.
Zach can change clothes, but he has to put the wig back on.
He's weighing the options.
Hey, you did not make a bet with Venkman.
I'll put the wig on for a little bit. I'll be right back.
Oh, God, he's actually wanting to do it.
He's gonna go make himself comfortable, and
I'm gonna go mute.
no,
I'm gonna mute him real
let's
quick.
all applaud Zach for being a good sport.
Oh, hey, my hearing came back in one ear. Hell yeah. The earphones cut out for like a minute.
Fun.
But yeah, how do we feel going to Joe Kelly's run, I guess, or mini series?
I think I'm going to continue not reading ASM.
Hell yeah. All right, Adam, what are your thoughts?
I don't really care too much.
I think that's damning when the most Adam has to offer is I don't care.
Yeah.
Actually, you don't care. What do you think?
I literally don't care, but I've had to listen to every single one of you caring about it that you don't care. So I'm just
Wasn't it-
team.
I'm glad
all
you don't
aboard,
care.
Don't give a fuck.
Wasn't it Venkman a couple months ago who said Greg isn't reading the other Spider-Man books and he's happier for it?
Yeah, he's smarter than us. Well, no, I started reading ASM and I'm better for
Well,
it.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Is ASM good again, or is it still?
No.
No, it's not good. I didn't even read it, and I know it's not good because I've heard the consensus from everyone that it's not good.
The only good thing right now is Ed McGuinness on art, and it's
Ed McGuinness
unfortunately continuing the Ed McGuinness trend of I'm the only thing carrying this goddamn book, and he's been carrying that trend for Red Hulk, Avengers, Nova.
I wonder if he's going to get paid a lot of money since he co-created Red Hulk.
No,
Probably.
Everyone gets to see the magic happen right now.
everyone gets to see Harrison Ford in a CGI like prop.
I meant Zach putting that wig.
Oh.
back on.
Sorry. That is also true.
I never liked Red Hulk, and I doubt this movie will change my mind.
How do you think Harrison
All right.
Ford feels about? How do you think? Is it weird that I think Harrison Ford's only movie role that he doesn't care about is Star Wars? But like every time I've seen him interview for this movie, he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm so excited to play Red Hulk."
I think he's excited because he's still got kids that are fairly young.
They're watching Marvel movies.
Probably.
Good for them, I guess.
Oh, God.
Walter says that Zach changed into a depressed Cowboys fan. And then Venkman asks a question.
I can't even give a rebuttal on that.
And then Venkman asks a question for Greg. I asked about New York pizza last time. Do you have any recommendations about New York style hot dogs?
Just go up to any street vendor. Usually the street vendor hot dogs are actually pretty good. Or
Yeah,
go
I
out
agree
to
with that.
Coney Island. Go to Nathan's. The original Nathan's are on Coney Island.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with Nathan's.
I don't know. I'm kind of weird when it comes to New York pizza. Like I've tried it from so many different locations and all the like we're number one in New York, like those kind of places. And Two Bros Pizza is forever one of my favorites, especially like when you're trashed at night. It's like solid.
I love
One of-
John. I love John's Pizza. I love Carmine's, which is right around the corner. I love Patsy's up in Harlem. That's where
Yeah.
Sinatra used to get his.
So this is kind of related. One of our friends, a friend of the show, Jess Puck, he was walking around, I think the Bronx, one night recently where we were talking, and he said there was like a grilled cheese vendor out there for like $2.99 a sandwich with like add-ons. That shit sounds awesome. I want a grilled cheese now.
Dude,
I think after we finish recording, I'm gonna make a grilled cheese because that sounds
It
great.
actually sounds pretty good.
one of my, like, their most recent. It didn't last very long because they didn't pay their taxes, but there was a restaurant called I Heart Mac and Cheese, and they had a grilled macaroni and cheese brisket sandwich, and it was the best sandwich I've ever eaten.
What was it called? I Heart Mac and Cheese.
I Heart Mac and Cheese.
Wait. What did Walter say? Bring that up.
My recommendation is go to Chicago and get a hot dog. Chicago does Pizza Hut.
Listen.
Okay,
You and your
hang
Chicago
on. Chicago style is actually pretty good. I'm not going to say it beats New York style, but they got some good pizza over there.
Oh, it is. It is very good. It's a great casserole. It's a really, really good casserole. I like it a lot, but it's a casserole.
It's a meat pie.
Hang on, Zach. You're not reading the fine print. If Zach disagrees, I just saw this amazing black cat costume. Tread lightly, Zach. Your ass is on the coals tonight.
I've never been to Chicago, so I can't comment. I have been to New York, so based on my own personal experience.
Are there good churros in New York, Greg?
Oh yeah. Are there good what?
Churros.
Well, I'm sure. I don't really go out and get them, but yeah, I'm sure there are.
All right, Walter. We're gonna ignore what sounds like a pizza slur, and then we're gonna.
Don't you dare talk about pizza like that.
We're gonna move past I Heart Mac and Cheese, aka beaten by the IRS, and we're gonna talk about the comic book that we're all here today.
Well, it was the franchisee that didn't pay. It was local taxes that weren't paid.
I'll begin by saying every time I read one of these, I enjoy the book, but every time I read one of these, it reminds me of how out of touch I am with the current Marvel universe.
Oh, you mean Johnny?
Oh, he was like, there's a baby Vision? Oh yeah, Johnny has like the porno stash, and
that actually feels pretty on brand for Johnny.
There's a lot of X-Men stuff in this book. We'll get to it when we get to it. So I guess what was that, Greg?
I said the reminder that Kamala Khan is a mutant. I had forgotten about that.
To be fair, I think everyone who isn't reading NYX forgot, so it's not just you, bud.
She died in ASM so she could become a mutant.
Thanks, Kevin. Oh, you synergistic ass. All right. Anyways, let's talk about this book. Spectacular Spider-Man number 9. Strange Love, chapter number 2, Gone Girl, written by Greg Weisman. And okay, I don't know why there's 2 artists on this book. How is this like a book that's done to meet deadlines? Yeah.
Deadlines.
Well, I think Ramos was pulled pretty. I'm assuming Ramos was pulled off pretty late.
Strange Academy or.
Yeah.
So anyways, Andres, Genolette, and Emilio Liso are the interior artists with colors by Edgar Delgado. Okay, so last time, everyone went to therapy. They used a supporting character instead of making an OC for royalties, and the one girl in the Eurovision turned into the liquid lesbian when she met her crush in the real world. I guess it does that thing that Weisman does where he goes back and forth. So we'll kind of go through this. We'll try and go through the thens before we go to the nows. So immediately after the last issue ends, the liquid lesbian's lying on the floor, and she accidentally mixes with her coffee. I guess it's coffee, right? It says death by chocolate, but I guess it's coffee. And
could be a hot chocolate.
True. She mixes with her New York overpriced beverage of choice and reformats into a real girl again. Everyone kind of runs over and says, "Hey, what's going on?" And they kind of run through every single part of the Marvel universe to figure out what the hell she is. And they make a point like, "Oh, she didn't have a Miss Marvel origin, so she's not an Inhuman. Hey, what about the power cosmic? Hey, what about clones?" And Zach goes, "Yes," but then the book says no. And she begins shifting through the Avatar state, turning into fire, earth, air, water, and then she becomes a real girl again because her emotions, I guess, are related to her powers.
Captain Planet, he's a hero. Sorry.
So anyways, Shashan says, "Hey, Peter, can you call in the Spider-Man?" And then there's 2 of them. Because you get a buy one, get one free order whenever you order from ESU. And
Okay.
At a college campus coffee shop? No way.
They're going to rip you off for every fucking penny they can. So Peter and Miles arrive and they're going like, hey, we should take you under our wing for now. Maybe we shouldn't let the person with the potential to be a bomb go off in our city. And so someone remembers that Viv Vision, aka Vision's daughter, exists. For those of you who have not kept up with the wider Marvel universe, yes, Vision does have a daughter now. She's Miles' friend. They're on the Champions together, aka the Legacy Hero Containment book.
How does that work? How can a robot? I don't know. It's comics.
Well, you see, fuck you, comic book. Don't ask questions. I think he just built them, and then two of them like killed themselves.
So Wanda's not the mother.
No. I think I think Vision used her brain patterns to make the wife, and then the wife killed herself. So I'm not sure what you take away from that one.
Well, that's on brand for Wanda.
Oh. Bendis vision intensifies. Okay. So Viv scans in and says, well, I have no idea what you are, but you're not a robot. And like I said, the what's her name? Is it Anna or is it Juliet? I forgot.
Juliet.
Okay, so Juliet's kind of freaking out. And, oh, hey, look, here's the cast of NYX, written by Colin Kelly and Jackson Lansing, with art by a friend. Hang on. What's the artist for that? I've got it right here. Francesco Mortarino. There we go. Anyways, Juliet basically is racist for a minute about mutants. And Prodigy says, oh, it's okay if you're one of us. That's cool.
Spoilers. She's not.
And
she has mutant slur privileges.
She has the M word pass. Anyways, emotional tension comes in when Anna drops in for no reason other than for the plot to happen. And is that that's Night Mask, yeah. So Night Mask and Shelley are like, hey, maybe you should get the hell out of here while we're solving the emotional problem. And then it cuts back to the present where Anna is comforting Juliet and saying like, hey, you want to be friends. Maybe it'll help you feel better and more in control. And then Peter and Miles tow her outside. It's like, hey, here's a criminal. He's going to teach you to use your powers. Definitely going to be for good guys, I promise. And Hydro Man basically walks her through her water powers. He teaches her how to water bend like Katara from The Last Airbender because that's the only pop culture reference I can think of right now since she's basically the Avatar. And Anna's girlfriend comes by and Juliet spills her spaghetti and falls on the ground and mixes with Hydro Man. Hydro Man has an emotional breakdown because he got her memories, and I guess they send him back to Ravencroft and bring in the Fantastic Four. Johnny Storm with his porno stash and the Rock guy get into a kerfuffle. This is paralleled by Francine Fry. Jesus Christ. Francine Fry and Max Dillon wandering into a bar at the same time and getting antsy. And the shared...
They're about to reenact that Tick episode where the Tick fought another character called the Tick.
Yeah, the shared experience of food service workers not wanting their place of work to be destroyed is shared between the barkeep and Vink. Vink. I'm going to call him Vink because that sounds more pretentious. So anyways, Johnny teaches her how to firebend, and the book ends with Miles going like, hey, and Miles and Peter going, hey, that's pretty good. And they're like, hey, what is she going to call herself? And then they just say, oh, it's Elementary. Buy the next book, guys. $3.99. All right. Next issue, team up against Electros. All right.
Okay,
You know
I got to
what?
take this off
You know
because
what?
my head's starting to itch.
I'll make a damn Witch reference here because Weisman produced the second season of Witch before he did Spectacular Spider-Man, and that featured 4 girls with magical elemental powers. So there you go. And he put the song from one of the episodes.
Oh, Winx Club.
No, not Winx Club. Witch.
Oh shit! I got those
other
mixed
one.
up.
The other one.
See, this is also why I like having Bishansky on, because he's going to understand the lore that I don't understand.
He's got that deep lore. All right,
which I greatly appreciate.
All right, so let's do grades and then we'll talk about what we liked and didn't like. Ashley, you're here. What's your grade?
I just had to like hard sigh for a second. Surprisingly enough, I will say this because I read and caught up from the last time I was on Spec, because you guys know how this was so triggering for me.
It's an emotional breakdown for
Yes.
Ashley.
Yes. I'm actually shocked, but I am going to give it a B.
Okay.
I love Adam's face for a second. He's like, wait a second.
Like, bueno.
Yeah.
Greg, your grade?
I'll give it a B also. It's doing a lot of table setting, which for the upcoming issues, which is fine. I get that, and it's setting things up, and granted a lot of it is cameo the issue, and I get why they're doing that, but
Yeah.
it's mostly
That's
table setting
also
and
why.
cameos. But it's
Mhm.
fun. It's fun.
We finally have a reason to have all the heroes in New York City for once. Aside from the world ending.
Adam, your grade?
B.
Adam's grade is a B. So that just leaves me, huh?
And Neil.
Yeah.
Oh, Neil, your grade?
I give it a B. Because
Yeah.
consistency is the name of our game here.
Neil is giving it a B. I am going to be the contrarian, and I'm going to give it a B plus.
Bye.
Oh.
Boo. Tomato, tomato.
I have reasons.
Get the tomato gun.
You for real.
He's giving it a B plus because of the 90s show clone reference.
Which I guarantee you is accidental, because I know for a
Holy
fact.
shit, that went like right past me.
I thought about it at first, but I know for a fact that Weisman has never watched the 90s show, and when he got the spectacular experiment gig, he purposely went back and didn't.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna ignore it on purpose.
Well, he didn't want to be influenced by any other like
Adaptations.
like. I think the only thing that he sort of adapted
It's a movie.
was the movie, the Raimi film. But everything else, it was purely comics. And
Yeah, we have to say the Raimi film now. Back then, when that episode came out, we could have just said the movie. Now we've got a whole bunch of them, different takes, different actors. We have to specify which one.
Yep. So okay, I'll go first on my thoughts. This is the first time we get to see Greg write the Fantastic Four Spider-Man dynamic, and I am here for it. I am a sucker for that particular team up. If you've listened to Slot Symposium, I gave a lot of high marks for Slot's integration of how he brought them back together, and so I'm always down for that cameo. I liked them as Marvel stuff, even though I'm not reading NYX. But I figured
I dropped it actually today.
Did you really?
It's like poetry. Yeah,
Oh,
I did.
shit.
I went to my store. I was like, "Hey, can I drop this title?"
And they were like,
It's
no.
not because it's not because it's awful. Just it's not really my kind of book anymore.
How many issues are there?
It's 5.
Oh, okay.
so.
Listen, that's $18. I
More
think
than
that's
that,
I think that's a good litmus test.
You know, I do like this was kind of definitely like Greg said, it's definitely table setting. So, but it's world building, which I think on one hand is we know that this is going to continue, obviously, and I think that shows the confidence that Marvel has in the book in how they're letting the world be built out a little bit. And so, yeah, there is a dynamic that takes the backseat. I see what Radiac's saying in the comments, but I think that it's necessary if this is going to be able to stand on its own. You've got to start, one of the complaints we've had is who are these characters that we don't ever know? And so now we're getting to know and get the character dynamic of, of Elementary.
Wait a second. Are you bringing up one of my biggest gripes since the first spec that I did with you guys right now? Is this happening? You actually listened and you were like, oh, wow, she has really good ideas instead of it being like, oh, these are characters everybody should know from all the other books. And
I don't think
no
anyone said that
idea.
because most of these characters, except for Shashan and Kenny, weren't really in the other books.
I didn't know any of them, and I was like, why do we care about them?
I think it's funny that I stumbled into knowing which one of them was.
Well,
I was like, oh shit, it's Night Mask. I forgot he was a character for like 5 years.
So, yeah, and so from a certain standpoint, and Greg, you said this early on too, that this was we were going to circle back to these characters. So now I'm really more invested in getting to know these characters beyond, her.
It's almost as if I've been watching reading this guy's work since 1994, and I know how he does things.
Yeah, it's true.
Mm-hmm.
So like I say, I think I do like that this ties into the greater Marvel universe, and it is doing things that I wish we would see more in the main Amazing Spider-Man book. I mean, obviously we're on this. I mean, yeah, we do need therapy for Spider-Man, but
if any hero needs it, Daredevil needs it a little bit more, but Spidey definitely.
Real quick.
I meant everybody else from reading ASM.
Walter is saying that he'll get me to dress one of the outfits. Listen, I'll wear it and I'll make it look good. The costume will not ride up.
I don't know, man. There's one that I'm scared.
Can I throw something in?
Sure.
Oh, no.
On Spectacular Spider-Man, the animated series, Greg famously wanted to use Johnny Storm in an episode of the first season, and he was told, no, you cannot use him. So I'm really happy to finally see him write Johnny and Peter in the same space together. Even with this porn stash. Actually, especially with the porn stash.
I like the stash. Unpopular opinion, but I like it.
Tech problem. 1 sec.
Uh-oh. Neil's having issues. No, and that was going to bring that up, Greg, and that's one of the reasons that I was like, oh, Fantastic Four. He gets to finally write the Spider-Man and the Fantastic Four dynamic. So this is something that the longtime fans that know the lore of the show and things that he couldn't do because of reasons, he's finally getting to dip his toe in that water, and I think that that's a really nice thing. That would be kind of fun. I don't know if he's seen Super Friends, but
I don't even know what Super Friends is. I know what the Hanna-Barbera DC Super Friends is. I don't know what
I think he meant Amazing Friends. I think he meant Amazing Friends.
Oh, yeah.
Like Firestar and Iceman. Do we need to start a headphone fund for Neil?
No. I can only hear you through one ear right now, but I promise it'll be better. I promise. I gotta say, one of my big cons for this book is the art inconsistency, because Lyso and Genolet have very different art styles. And I probably didn't mind it as much in the last issue, but I kind of just assumed it was because it was a transitional issue. We get like a permanent artist, but having them both next to each other, I think that Genolet is the better artist, and I wish they were doing the interiors. Also, I just noticed there's a coloring error on the page where Miss Marvel comes in. The collar on her shirt is colored like her skin.
Oh.
And that's also, and Gamerside Ratchet said in the chat that Weisman is currently writing, and this is true, issue 15. So, Marvel's satisfied with the book. They've got faith in the book. It's not going anywhere anytime soon.
Oh, yeah, they did make a coloring error.
I see it.
Yep. What's up, Comic Binge? When are you going to come back on the show? I know you're doing a show tonight, but
when are you doing Slot Symposium?
In a couple weeks, actually.
Oh yeah, I'm supposed to be there. Yeah, Gamerside Ratchet. I also like Genolet's work in Runaways and She-Hulk. That's why I'm saying that I like them more. Lyso's good as a fill-in artist. I just don't know if I want them to be like the main. What?
Greg, do we know if there's if they made a permanent
what
transition away from Ramos to?
I'm wondering.
I don't know.
If I remember correctly, I think they said that. I'm pretty sure after the first. Well, what was it?
The first arc.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say the first arc, which it was like 7 or whatever.
Mhm.
Yeah, a couple. I think they said in the letters page that Ramos was done with the book.
Yeah.
Oops.
So,
Also, I also want to add one thing. Another reason why I like the issue, this scene between Juliet and Anna, I appreciate the maturity that both are displaying there. I mean, Juliet's going through some shit right now, but she's trying to hold it together. I appreciate the maturity instead of just awkwardness or trying to be adults about it.
Well, then I do think it's really funny that her girlfriend wanders up and then Juliet spills her spaghetti.
It
Just
is weird.
Flies on the ground.
Because Corey Smith was supposed to do this issue, and it ended up being the art team that's advertised for next issue. So I'm wondering if Corey Smith's doing the next issue, and then
but
Vaughn Randall is doing issue 11.
Yeah, but the reason I gave it a B instead of an A is because, and maybe I missed something in another book, but the Hydro Man thing kind of weirded me. I'm like, isn't this a supervillain? I understand they said they've taken precautions and have got safeguards there, but then they mentioned he's going back to Ravencroft, so I don't know what Hydro Man's current status is because I'm not reading the other books, and I'm happier for it.
So all you need to know, Greg, is that the plot needed him to be here, and Hydro Man's just like in rotation, I guess, just to be there whenever.
So,
needed.
From ASM, if I'm recalling correctly, they have like done some different inhibitor things or whatever, because like he appeared in ASM the other day, or in a issue, a couple weeks ago. I think so.
No,
oh no,
was
am I confusing him with Sandman?
Sandman was there for the Ravencroft stuff, and I think Electro was, and Rhino.
So
Rhino's been around.
So like, I think, I don't know what the specific dynamics are.
I suppose I can buy into it in the sense that Hydro Man's a bad guy, but he's not one of the bad guys.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what I just realized? I might know the origin of Elementary. Diablo.
No.
Diablo.
I just thought of it because they talk about magic and its elemental stuff. So I just kind of connected the dots on Diablo, and I was like, hey, look, it's Diablo. I'm probably going to be wrong, but I'm shooting my shot in the dark, hoping I hit something.
Adam, why did you give it a B?
I mean, basically for a lot of the reasons you guys said. The now and then stuff kind of bugs me a little bit. I think I would rather it just play out chronologically.
Yeah, that pacing is coming back to hurt again.
But where I did think it was fine was the meanwhile stuff with the Electros. I think that's fine. That's fine as a cutaway, I would say. But I don't know, then all that stuff, it's just kind of like I think I would prefer it chronologically.
I think you're onto something, Adam, with like the parallels between the Electros and Johnny and Ben. That worked more for me just because like they were playing off the commonality of that situation, like the parallels.
Mm-hmm.
But like when it's cutting back and forth and doing that classic Weisman pacing, it just doesn't work.
I got kind of confused when like for a minute there, which I guess you this is a book that demands your attention, because I kind of got confused for a minute when Anna appears again in the present, but then it cuts to the past that happened right after, and it's like I think that should have been before. I don't know. Anyway, it was just kind of like it was a little jarring for me. Other than that, I mean, it's a fine issue, I guess. Like, it's kind of fun getting all these different characters to try to help out this new character and help her train with her powers.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I don't know, it does seem like it's cameo overload at the same time.
I kind of like that, though. I like the idea that all these heroes just kind of bumping around waiting for something to happen.
Yeah, I guess. That's kind of a good point. They didn't have anything better to do, so.
And they're all there. Like they even kind of just wave off Miss Marvel as just like already being there because she lives on campus now.
Yeah.
Oh no, she has a class, but Prodigy lives there now. He's a professor at ESU, and one of the Cuckoos is starting a race war. So that last part isn't really connected to ESU, but that's why she's in the city.
Well, one of the previous Cuckoos joined Zorn, so that tracks.
Zorn.
Again, I see what Paul is saying as Comic Binge in the chat. My thing is that if we're going to have like a whole separate own supporting cast, like you've got to develop it at some point.
Yeah, I think if you cut the cast in half, you'd have a more consistent and better flow in the book.
There is such a thing as too much. Like we could have just had. It could just be Kenny and his girlfriend and Miles's friend and Shashan and like the professor guy maybe. But then we have these other people that are just kind of like they're there.
Well, you got the therapist from Silk
and Juliet's just
the therapist from Silk. That's fine, I guess. That's for the plot. That's a good use of.
So a pre-existing support. That's what I liked about the last issue, and I think by this point she's going to get written out of the book. And I think you could take like Cedric, the one that had a crush on Kenny's girlfriend, and just write him out of the book because his arc's done. In fact, most of these characters' arcs are done. The only ones you really need are you don't even really need any of them. But I'd probably take Kenny, his girlfriend. Is it Shelley?
Yeah, Shelley.
Yeah, Shelley. I'd keep Nightmask around just because it's interesting to have him around, and I guess it's going to be somewhat consistent for Weisman to return to that character.
I get that, but that was also kind of random that he just showed up he showed up like 2 issues ago at the end of the last arc.
I think we should have seen him like in the first issue or not in the first issue, but like in the middle of the arc or something while they're going through the montage, and like you could cut out like the obvious Shakespeare reference.
No, not on a Weisman series. You don't do that. So.
I don't know.
You could cut out the other coffee bean guy.
I mean, most of it could get cut out. Are they going to keep doing like the group therapy session, or is this like moving into figuring out how she's going to like Juliet's going to like?
No, they get one issue of therapy. That's it. It's like American healthcare. They only get one session free.
You get one, and then you're down. Like that's
your mental health has been solved.
I mean, like I said, I've been reading and watching his work for 30 years, so I also know he plays a long game, and it's beginning to pay off with Juliet. And I totally disagree, Comic Binge, but you knew I was going to say that. So,
oh, did I say Night Watch? I meant Nightmask. Sorry.
So I think that we got maybe 2 more issues of this arc because it looks like.
On the other hand, I get it. One of the reasons why I can't read X-Men books much is because there's way too many characters there. It doesn't bother me here, but there's like 50,000 characters in each X-Men book. It feels like
there's a lot here, though. Especially
this is why I wish you were here, Paul, to have this conversation because I really enjoyed the group therapy stuff. So
me too.
Maybe you should show up more.
That was the best part of the book.
I think it was fine as a novelty, but because we don't see it. I think that's the reason why it was better than usual is because we don't usually see that kind of thing. But overall, it was kind of.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that made Silk unique, and I'm glad it's kind of spreading out to the other characters now that the experiment with Silk of mental health is important.
I guess I feel like if we go back to what Radiac said, this book is it's too focused on the supporting characters, not focused enough on the Spider-Man characters, the Spider-Men.
Well, right now, but the first arc was definitely very Spider focused. So we've gotten through that. Now we're doing the supporting cast, and I'm sure Peter and Miles are going to come back into the limelight at the end of the day. This is their book, but that first arc, those first several issues, was definitely very Peter and Miles focused.
Well, and that was
it had too much.
And that was my problem, was that like within that first arc there were too many supporting characters, and we're not going to talk about last issue. We're here to talk about this issue. That was then. Now is now.
Well, no, I mean, Give me a second.
Send him the link. Send him the link. I want him in here.
I'm sending the link.
So we can talk about this issue, not the last one.
Okay.
I'm not
And
sure.
I'll admit, when I hear him say cut the Shakespeare reference, no, you know what? As a guy who doesn't like Star Wars very much, I have to see Star Wars references everywhere. Give me my Shakespeare references, please.
Listen, I'm just saying. My opinion on this character has been, I think, very consistent regarding
it has, but yeah.
That I think he's a fun like background character, but like I don't think he's a very compelling like supporting character.
On the other hand, I get that. At the same time, this is what he does. This is what he's always done, even as far back as Gargoyles. There's no such thing as a background character. A character will start out as a background character and then develop into someone important later. He's incapable of just having a background character, and I love that. I can see why some people might.
But to say that's half of Young Justice's characters, but I'm going to shut the hell up. But I think that I don't want to say that Weisman's wrong for doing the long form storytelling. But I think that only works to a certain extent. Like with comics, there is a certain shelf life as far as how much you're expecting to get. Like most comics these days don't get past the first trade. That's an unfortunate reality, but any comic doesn't have Spider-Man on it. And even then, that doesn't guarantee a long form story. So like issue 15, that's pretty good, all things considered. But, I wouldn't write with the expectation you're going to get more than that first trade. And I think, unfortunately, that's one of my main critiques. And it's something that Weisman's always done. I've seen him do it before, but it is something I've noticed. And it's one of his weaker qualities as a writer, I think. Maybe I'm not being too mean, am I?
No, I don't think so. But I would prefer. But I'll admit, I prefer that. I just don't like the writing for the trade. I like this more old school.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is that you shouldn't write for the trade. You should condense your stories more. And I think that that's one of Weisman's weaknesses, is that he writes for the trade.
I don't think he does.
Yeah,
that whole first arc was for the trade.
No, it really wasn't. Hell, it wasn't even in a single trade.
That's the problem.
Well,
that was odd.
It was, yeah. That was weird.
Oh my God! Paul shaved his sideburns.
Mm-hmm.
What's up, Paul?
I trimmed them. I trimmed them for once.
They were invisible to me.
He's not like me that one time where I shaved everything off and I felt like I was.
No, it's like I just trimmed it up because it grows fast, so I figure I'll just bear it as much as I can. So
he got me so mad. I shaved everything off my face.
All right, Paul, you're here. Welcome to the show.
Hi.
You're not dead. Rumors of your death have been greatly exaggerated.
Well, yeah. I don't know if you see this. This has been my death lately. So
listen, your proof of life. I just appreciate that you keep submitting proof of life, that you're not drowning in comics right now.
By the way, I got a lot of crap for posting that second picture. By the way, of me like being obviously I was being like, it was staged and supposed to be dramatic and stupid. I got so much crap for that. My wife kept being like, I've gotten so many texts about you, like, oh my God, Paul's so ridiculous, blah 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 blah. I'm like, don't they know who I am? Like,
I'm the Juggernaut, bitch.
I'm I'm ridiculous, So anyway,
by the way, Paul, yeah. Ashley, Paul, you guys haven't.
Hi, Ashley. Nice to meet
Hi.
you. Yeah. Hi, nice to meet you finally. I've heard good things about you, but I've not actually met you face to face or panel to panel.
By the way, you probably missed this earlier, so I'm doing it again just for posterity's sake.
He actually really likes this. Nope, that's wrong.
Put him the wrong way.
Fucked up.
I messed up.
Mm-hmm.
It's very
Walter
it's very Jeff Leopard.
Well, Walter got me the Spider-Gwen cosplay.
Still looks weird. Ugh.
It's wrong. That's why. He needs to hold the part to know where the middle of his forehead is.
Okay, there we go.
Well, like I said, all I can think of is Death Leopard and being like, hysteria. Oh man.
You can get
Hysteria,
that
by the way, is
get a
feeling.
great album.
dude, that song bangs, dude. I ain't gonna lie. Like that song rules. I'm not into hair metal, but that song, I could spin that thing. I think it rules.
Listen, Mutt Lang and Def Leppard was magic. Okay.
No, don't even. Yeah, I wouldn't say they're all magic. I would say I grew up on like some of those hits in the early '90s stuff, but yeah, I can't dig I can't dig most of it, but I can dig Hysteria. That song, as the kids would say, slaps. So, but anyway, Spider-Man.
Slaps.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I know. I'm not into slaps. I can't say it.
I was gonna say, I don't
can't
think
say
that's
I
the
don't know.
lingo now either.
It's bussin'.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
bussin', Paul. Get with the time.
It's now bussin'. Oh, yeah.
It's not. We're past that too.
Wait, are we? Shit.
Yes.
What is it? What is it now? Hang on, Ashley. You're the mom. Tell us what's up. What's the new
Oh my
lingo?
God. Let me see. I'll get back
She's
to you
gonna
with that. I'm gonna.
she's gonna text
What
her.
are the kids saying these days?
Oh, good lord! A friend of mine just sent me a text. He's watching this, telling me, "Turn in your geek card." He said he don't like Star Wars very much.
I know. That's why I said. I was like, "You just hurt me, Craig. You hurt me."
You just hurt Paul
Star
too,
Wars is-
because Paul.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'll argue with Greg all day. You know, I mean, it's that's how it's gonna work. So, but you know, listen, different strokes, different folks. But you know, it's just it's whatever. It's whatever. We all can't be right. We can't be wrong.
Hey, I
so-
love space operas about dark powers and a plucky group of rebels fighting against a fascist regime. It's called Babylon 5, and Jameis is more
I was about to say.
little finger than George Lucas has his entire goiter.
Oh boy.
Well,
okay. All right. Well,
You're right. You're absolutely right. If you want to just watch drawn out drama for 45-minute episodes, you're
Listen,
right.
hang on,
That
Paul. That's
sounds
Deep Space
exactly
Nine.
excited.
Hang on, Paul.
Whoa,
That's
whoa,
Deep
okay,
Space
okay,
Nine. That's my
okay,
favorite
okay.
show. Shut the fuck up.
whoa. This is not turning into like
Yeah.
the
I'm here to
The
talk
View.
about Spider-Man. God damn it! I didn't mean it. I
Fair
didn't mean
enough,
to
fair
take it
enough.
over. But anyway, but yeah,
View.
no, it's been a minute. And I haven't read today's issue, but I've read up and I finally got caught up with Spider-Man stuff. I figured out a way to read comics and exercise at the same time, which is basically just me pacing in my downstairs back and forth reading comics, which by the way, effing rips. I love it. It's amazing. I've gotten caught up so much with this. It's amazing. Anyway,
Face Gamer
I
Sly
finally got caught
Ratchet.
up. I finally got caught up with Spec. It's not, listen, I said this in the comments. I don't dislike it at all, but I don't love it. And I really want to love it because I like Miles and Peter's relationship so much.
Yeah.
And I think Greg does a solid job when he's writing those two characters by themselves. And it's pretty fun and quippy, and he has a good chemistry between the two characters. But like I said before, the coffee bean thing, I'm just like, ugh, I don't care. Like, I think I'm gonna have a hot take, all right? And this is not on any one writer, but this is what I think people like who are Spider-Man fans like us tend to like always like kind of be like, yeah, this is like take ownership of this, and I'm like, I don't want to take ownership of this. I'm done with this kind of. It's the supporting cast in general. Everyone talks about, oh, it's Spider-Man supporting cast is so good, it's so great, but it is great. The problem is like I don't care that much about the supporting cast all the time. And I think the part of the reason why the supporting cast worked so well back in the day is because it wasn't always the focus. It was the supporting cast, god damn it. And the thing is, you get an a single issue about Betty, right? Or whatever. Or Jonah, whatever. Or Robbie focused issue. But we're not getting those every 4 or 5 issues or every 6 issues. We're getting them like once a year, if that. Maybe twice a year. But they're so spread out that they're almost, again, the supporting cast in mainstream comics turned into a way for them to like just navigate, I want to say filler issues, but that's kind of what they were. And they were great, but then the writers had so much fun writing them because it was a play off of what wasn't the typical like hero versus hero or villain versus whatever stupid. I say stupid because I love it. But like whatever trope you want to have, it was a way to kind of navigate away from the norm and have a different kind of story, an offbeat story, and that was nice. And it's good to build your supporting cast. That's always a good thing. The problem is that people, I think, have taken the wrong message from that, in my opinion. And they're saying, oh, we need to have the supporting cast in a bunch. I'm like, no. We don't need to have them in that much. We need to have them a little bit. Like, just do little bits here and there. Like, not have them be like, let's have the whole coffee shop be in group.
Yeah.
No, I'm not, like, I don't need that.
Because, like,
I don't need that.
Counterpoint.
When
I got a
when you
counterpoint.
think, because here's what
Yeah, I was gonna
here's what I will say to I guess enhance Paul's point is that if you go back to probably like the 60s, 70s, the supporting cast in Peter's life is mostly for relationship drama, is what it boils down to. Aunt May, Liz, Betty, Mary Jane, Gwen, Harry, Flash. It's all just relationship drama is all it is. And I don't mean like, who's dating who, but it's partly that. And it's like, well, it's a means to show just
how Spider-Man impacts Peter's social life.
Yes. Yeah. Basically just that. And then you get probably, I don't know when, probably starting with Conway a bit, maybe.
Conway,
and then
definitely. Yeah.
And then maybe Stan a little bit, like with some Robbie and Jonah stuff, but you do Conway and he really builds up Mary Jane to be the love interest. And then especially you go into the 80s and you have the whole Robbie Tombstone thing. And it's like, okay, the supporting cast becomes a bit more important.
There's also there was also 3 books at the time too.
Yeah.
So you had to fill content that way, and so
and
that allowed them to.
And how do you make this book different than the other book? Because we can't, you don't want all the books to be the same. So,
which I think also feeds into the people that are in supporting of this, that there is a supporting cast that is in its own little pocket thing. The 2 of them can get together every Wednesday and have their little adventures, but
it's too contrived.
Hang on, hang on. I've got 2 points on this, and the first is I want to reply to that is that it works as a framing device, but then the book kind of derailed that for the Arcadium plot line, and that framing device kind of just fell apart, and now it just kind of feels like an obligation rather than a actual good framing device. If this was like a one and done format, it would work a lot better. But my other point is not necessarily a counterpoint, but to build upon it, Paul. And that is because I think this has partly to do with a common complaint I've made on this show. No, it's not the colors, it's the pacing. And that's because most comics these days are built for the trade. And so like a issue that would have storyline with a supporting character would have taken like 2 issues back in like the 70s or in Conway's run now takes like 12. And that's not necessarily just because, that's part of the beast of comics. That's just how, storytelling has changed. And ASM has the luxury of doing this because it's such a popular book. It can kind of just sustain itself. But it's sort of to parallel this with look at like Zeb Wells' run, where it has the unique problem of having nothing happening, where nothing is happening with Spider-Man, the character, and nothing's happening with the supporting cast, where like they'll have a plot line, they'll ditch it for like 20 issues and then bring it back out of nowhere. And I think that, part of that, like I said, is mostly just down to the nature of the beast when it comes to modern comics, and they're just written differently than they were back then. And that kind of raises the question of, like, how do you solve a problem like Spider-Man? And how do you tell his stories that made him so popular back in the 70s in a modern lens as far as a storytelling apparatus? But I think that Weisman's fatal flaw with the supporting cast is that he pivots too hard between each of them. Like one arc will have too much focus on Peter and Miles, like the Arcadium storyline, and then the other one, like the one we're in right now, has too much emphasis on the supporting cast. And it'd be fine if like the supporting cast was consistently playing a role throughout the book, but it feels like it's more of a selective, I use them when the plot needs me to problem.
Yeah, and to be fair, I haven't read today's issue yet. I just haven't gotten around to it. But catching up on Spec the last month, I was like 3 or 4 months behind. It just feels like he's doing a lot in there right now, like the whole Jackal thing, and then all different clones, and you had that stupid Miles thing, whatever. What's his name? Like, it's the stupidest name of all time.
Shift. Blame Saladin Ahmed.
Did that guy? I'm sorry, that writer. I can't stand him. He's terrible.
Ziggler's better. Ziggler's better.
Oh,
much better.
Ziggler's way better. Ziggler,
He's got
pulls it
anime.
out of the water.
He's doing fucking Dragon Ball shit.
I haven't read any
Dude,
of these. I don't know.
All I gotta say is, if Ziggler gave Miles a freaking sword, how rad is that? But then Salvador, whatever his name is, the guy before him, gives him a giant beefed up. Ahmed gives him a giant beefed up clone named Shift. For God's sakes, what are we doing? Anyway, it's might as well make him Spider Side 2.0.
I mean, he kind of is
bad. He is. He's terrible.
But my point is that I think that the supporting cast is uniquely important to Spider-Man as a character.
Agreed.
But I think as the storytelling methods of yesteryear have transitioned into the modern ones, where things are more written for the trade, and I don't want to go back to Bendis and blame Bendis for everything, but it's a story model that he popularized and has become the rule rather than the exception.
Well, it used to be there used to be the house style of Stan, right? And then there became the house style of the second gen. And then around 2000, Bendis became the house style. And not everybody can do that. I mean, you look at Paul Jenkins, he's famously said he hated being forced to write for the trade. He liked to do one and dones and do it that way.
Also to Walter, I'm sorry if my voice is raised. My earphones are only working in one side, so I'm having to raise my voice so I can hear myself.
You know, so I think it's very important to acknowledge that, yes, you're right. Like, Spider-Man is known for a supporting cast, and that's like where my hot take comes in, is that you're right. The problem is people have taken the wrong aspect from that, because I think you look at Batman, he never really had a supporting cast. He had literally Alfred, and that was it.
Commissioner
you had
Gordon.
Superman, that was it. You had Superman, you had Lois Lane, maybe Jimmy Olsen, but I wouldn't say no. Like, you had nobody. Spider-Man has a way more unique interactive relationships with all the people in a supporting cast.
Are we talking about specific eras of those characters?
I'm talking about from the early days, like exactly what Adam was saying.
Oh, okay.
That Stan built upon that, right? And then Conway built upon that. And the problem is that, a lot of people love that aspect of it. And over the years, a lot of writers have said, oh, people just love Spider-Man supporting cast so much, we'll just have them be like a super emphasis. It's like, yes and no. Like, let's chill on the supporting cast. Give me more Spider-Man. Like, focus more stories on him. And it feels like some writers, not all writers, but a lot of writers, I'd say majority of Spider-Man writers, don't know where to draw that line. I feel Spencer was probably the best out of everyone, that he knew how to kind of pull back in and out pretty well, because I think he loved Spider-Man, so he knew how to like build that. I think some like for instance, again, it's hard because it's editorial too, right? So you had to build up Paul's relationship, so Mary Jane's relationship with him, and it's like, and that's just a whole different subject. But you get what I'm saying. It's more than just them. It's all before that. You had all kinds of characters that were trying to build up and whatnot. So, and again, it got to a point where I'm like, just go away from these characters. I don't really need all of them. So
I will say, like, people, some people say like, oh, JMS. I wish JMS had more of the supporting cast in there, and I'm like, oh, I think it's great that it's just Peter, Mary Jane, and Aunt May.
Well, to dovetail on that though, there was a reason that he focused on those three. To be honest, it was because there was so much that needed to be rebuilt because of the reboot that he basically went underneath the hood. And then you had other books like Friendly Neighborhood that ended up being more about the supporting cast. But we're kind of off the rails here for a second. I'll let Greg, you want to respond to anything that's been said, and then we'll kind of start wrapping the show up, because
I'm actually quite good, but I will say that, I mean, I'm one of those people who's a big fan of the supporting cast. I always enjoyed the scope. I always thought that was unique to Spidey at the time. He was the first to have a massive supporting cast, and I liked that it got bigger. It makes this world feel larger, more populated, real. I mean, if you live in New York City, I mean, you're going to be running into lots and lots and lots of people. Spidey has a lot. Peter has a lot of different aspects of. I don't know Miles' stuff as well. I know the movies, but that's about it. But It works for me. I mean, now the execution could probably use a little fine tuning here, but I enjoy the large supporting cast, and I do think, and especially like I said, as someone who's been reading and watching this guy's work for 30 years, I know that this is not all fat. This is not all waste. It's waste.
There's going to be some payoff, and I think today was
there
and that goes to my point earlier that I think Paul missed was I think today's issue specifically because we are getting more of a focus on Juliet and actually actually getting to know her as a character. This was something that was very much needed. I do want to jump over to Ashley because you read the last few issues since you haven't been on the last couple episodes. How did it read to you?
I mean, it's way better than what it was in the beginning, but I still have issues with the jumping around, too many different storylines happening at once. I'm going to disagree with Paul because I like Shift. Yeah, sorry.
He's a
Shift. No,
he's a goober. He's a goober.
I do. He was one of the few things that I actually really enjoyed in the first few issues. At least my ADHD, like when he came in, I was like, he's adorable. I love him. I also like the group therapy session, which you also hated. So I guess Paul, me and you.
I didn't hate. I don't hate. I just disliked it. I didn't hate it. Shift, I hate. I hate Shift. I don't like him.
He's so adorable. He's like, you just want to squeeze his little face. I love him. I want to like keep him.
His name is Shift, Ashley. His name is Shift.
I love him.
First of all, Ashley, I hope you and I are still good, despite an opinion I shared earlier that was a bit of a hot take of my own.
About your Star Wars, as I am literally surrounded by like tons of like Yodas, Grogus, and my Wampas all over the place.
Wampas,
like, dang, I feel attacked.
Grogu.
Wampas are one of the weird things that I collect from like
Wampas
the Star Wars.
Cool. As Grogu, as far as I'm concerned, he's a shit.
Well, and to go back to that, like one of the reasons I used the concurrent runs around around this title, including ASM, is because I think it gives us a unique perspective on storytelling, as in like, you know, the Wells run is a very interesting case of everything happening but nothing happening. Things are technically happening, but they aren't good. Like the supporting cast is there in theory, but those storylines get dropped in and out. And I'm worried that Spec is going to follow a similar formula where
and I think that's partially also editorial too.
Where there is, and like Zach said, editorial thing, but like where we have such a high density of supporting characters that none of them get to develop, and then some of them just get written off, but then new ones get rotated in, and then the ones that we're left with don't continue to not get any development.
Yeah, well, historically, he's been very good at developing supporting casts and people like that with these large casts historically. So,
and I didn't mind the cameos either. Like, if I'm being honest, I thought it was kind of great for this book because it gave like some little like surprises instead of it just being like some weird little back and forth circle jerk like we've had for all those other issues. If I'm being for real, like it is. Now, then, meanwhile, after a while, tomorrow, the next day, 3 hours from now, I can't do it. Like my
then now.
Yeah, my ADHD is like, okay, like you need to take all of your meds and then really try to focus in the dark somewhere, like just a light focus on it so you have no outside stuff so that your brain is not like bobbing and weaving around. And I will have to read it. Like it actually irritates me because I feel like sometimes when I'm reading these, I have to read like each individual weird story to stay on topic to know what the F is going on. And I do think that it's a little bit better than it was, but these like this last... I think it was not this one. Yeah, I think it was this one where it was starting to do that with Electro and all that stuff. Like, I know you guys said you liked it, but for me, like on the same page, I was having some issues like following along. So I needed to like go back and reread those parts specifically. So I'm hoping that moving forward, all these outside things with the therapy and, you know, her trying to figure out her powers and the what'd you call it? The liquid lesbian arc. I think that was what it was. You know,
yes, Paul, I did call it that. Yes, you can.
You did. The liquid lesbian arc and
Tri-Skull and a Tri-Skull there, Paul.
Therapy, group session, coffee circle jerk. Like I don't. It's a lot.
To build off of that, Ashley, I think that Walter actually brought up a good point. Maybe not in the same way that I'm going to, but I think that a lot of writers kind of take the supporting cast for granted because they're so institutional. Like, we've had MJ and Robbie and Jonah and Betty there for so long that, like, writers kind of just go like, oh, I can just put them there and I don't have to really do anything with them. And I think in a more modern context, I think the supporting cast should reflect parts of Peter's life and, like Walter said, offer perspective on that.
Yeah.
And with the supporting cast that we have here, we've got Shashan, who's like a supporting character that we know. And it's a problem that Ultimate shares where, like, a lot of what we get of the characters that we know, Hickman's kind of leaving for us to interpret and kind of copy paste from the 616 universe. It's a problem that Adam's brought up, and I think it's actually a very important one. But I think Weisman's just like, okay, they know Shashan, they know Kenny from the cartoon, no one read Starbrand and Night Mask. Here's a bunch of other characters,
I wish it
but
was
none
Night
of,
Watch.
with a skateboard, baby. No, wait, that's Night Thrasher.
That's the one. That's the Spawn ripoff.
Yeah, I was thinking about that, but I think that these new supporting characters need to offer some kind of reflection on Peter and Miles rather than just existing for the sake of being there. And that's what I'm kind of worried about, is that these characters aren't going to offer anything interesting as far as, like, how do they reflect Peter and Miles thematically or character-wise. They're kind of just there because the plot needs them to be. Like that first issue with Cedric coming in, that could have offered an interesting contrast to Miles on how he views his relationship with Starling. Because, like, Miles is like, oh, little flirt don't hurt, and then you see Cedric macking on Shelley, or trying to mac on Shelley, and that could have been an interesting character moment for Miles, like having him reflect on, like, how he views his relationships, but then doesn't go anywhere because it's mostly just there to facilitate the plot moving along.
It's also I think it's editorial saying we have to kind of keep Peter and Miles in this sort of box,
static brands, and that ties broadly into my thoughts on ASM, which is that unfortunately under Lowe, regardless of like what you think of him as a person, his main problem is that he views Spider-Man as a franchise, not as a character with a status quo that continually evolves.
Can I say something? And this doesn't sound weird coming from me, especially since I used to read almost everything, and now I read very little.
Nothing.
But
Go ahead.
But as someone who's only reading one book, and there are times I come like, what's all this here? Like in this issue, like who are these characters? And I realize, okay, I'm not reading the X books right now. I don't know. But for someone like me who has not read ASM others in a while, that's a godsend. I don't have to go and reference and pick up ASM to figure out what's going on in this book right now. And
well, I am, and you know what, god damn it, I'm gonna keep doing it because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Anyway,
what do you think? Hang on, Paul. I want to get I want to get your thoughts on this, Paul. What do you think of?
Everyone's talking at once. Sorry, I can't.
I want to get your thoughts on this, Paul. What are your thoughts on the book bringing in Silk's therapist and using a pre-existing supporting character as opposed to like bringing in a new
book.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't read. Well,
when you do read
last
this?
issue.
Yeah, from
I'll
last
read
issue.
eventually.
I'm going to say something while all of you guys like continue on your path. I just want to know which one of you is going to cut your facial hair to look like Johnny Storms.
I did it. It looked awful.
I just
My ex made fun of me for it.
One of you, please do that.
All right, hang on.
what do I get from you if I do it?
So,
what would you like, my dear?
Hang on 1 second. Let me get my razor. Let's do this on air.
So he's talking about the Fu Manchu, Paul.
Yes, I want to see that in real life.
Okay, I actually, for the record, I have pictures of me with what I called my Civil War mustache. I was really into that, and like I loved it. And I was like all proud of it because this is all big burly, Wilford Brimley shit. And
yeah.
And like I walked into this like Mexican place with my wife, and this acquaintance of ours a friend of ours was an acquaintance. She looked at me and goes, "Oh, WWE." And I looked at her and said, I looked at my wife. I said, "I am shaving this tonight." So like it was.
Let me tell you,
I got
something,
a roll.
brother.
Yeah, it was rough because I love my Civil War mustache. I'll find a picture. I'll send it to like the chat or whatever. I got a roll. I just
need to see it in real life.
it's pretty. I think it's baller, but that's just me. Listen, like I gotta roll. Comic binge stream is gonna happen in like moments, and we're gonna talk about Superman Birthright, goddamn masterpiece. So holler at me, and yeah, everyone, I'll talk to y'all soon.
All right.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks for jumping in, buddy.
You. I'm
right,
sorry,
Paul,
long shift.
Yeah, Paul, before you
No,
go, I
it's
just wanna
okay.
say I agree with you.
You
The
like-
Birthright's a masterpiece, and I want us to agree on one thing before you took off.
Yes, you're right. Yes, and Ashley, you're good. Know why? Wampas. Enough said. So, all right. Peace out.
Bye, dude.
All right, y'all about to
Alright.
witness something historical.
What?
Oh.
I thought it's like Neil grows a mustache in real time.
He's like
While
he's
he's
like a
doing
chia
that, I just wanna
pet.
say
He's
this.
trying to like.
I just want to say one thing, especially since I had a really hot take earlier. But when especially with how spirited this discussion got, I want to say to our audience and everything, it's okay to like a book. It's okay to not like a book. It's okay to like a movie. It's okay to not like a movie. It's okay to TV shows or whatever. At the end of the day, this is all art, and how we connect with pieces of art is really says a lot more about us, because every now and then there'll be something that there's that X factor. Maybe it exists for you, but it doesn't exactly exist for somebody else. I mean, that's why art is always subjective.
Yeah, I agree.
This is the
Look,
best show on the internet. I'm just saying that right now. We've had Zach in his Spider-Gwen stuff. We have Neil getting the Fu Manchu ready right now, while Greg is voicing such profound and amazing like things right now. It's the greatest show. Like it's the
Artistic
greatest.
fiction.
like
peak
there's been like, and I liked that we got into like the nitty gritty of storytelling. I know that may be boring to some people, because I get it, because it's very, very like in the weeds. But I think that this episode kind of encapsulates what the reason that we do things like this is, that we get to talk about and have these fun, deep conversations and get to be silly. And you know, we've done 100 episodes plus of this show, and I am appreciative, even though, you know, I had to lose a little bit of my dignity tonight, but that's fine. I'm doing it
fun
for
You
the.
had
I had
fun.
fun with
It was
I
for
had
the
fun.
meme.
It was for the memes. You know,
Mulch was shitting on you anyways.
I know it's fine. But I have look. I did love this book. I mean, I enjoyed reading it a lot, and it's nice to be able to say that I'm still enjoying at least one Spider-Man book that's besides Ultimate, because I love Ultimate. I love this book, and I love Ultimate. They and Miles. I just wish
I've
I
read
loved.
I've read the first 3 issues of Ultimate. I'm liking it. I'm planning on getting caught up, because I do want to get caught up and participate in one of those for experience at sometimes.
Oh, shit, Venkman.
Damn, Venkman.
What do you say?
He said
said-
Zach had dignity before tonight.
I mean,
Venkman,
I
this is
have-
not crawl space. Don't treat him like that.
no. It's
Just
fine.
strafed you. Holy shit.
It's fine. He had to be a little savage. It's
All right,
cool.
I tried. I unfortunately it was growing it out just a little bit, but I've tried.
So I mean, I could make the Fu Manchu based on my beer, but I really don't want to.
Yeah. But
Oh, by the way, Gabby did get back to me, and she said they don't say slaps or any of that stuff anymore. She said they say that's tough.
I'm looking at you, and I don't believe, and I do not
That's
believe
tough.
you have an 18-year-old. I'm looking at your face. I do not believe you have an 18-year-old.
In a couple
promise.
months, she'll be 18. But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
if I had to peg you, and no, okay, if I had to guess,
Do we want to get into this on the air?
I would say 26. I would figure you at 26.
thank you.
You just
Greg's
made
my
her
favorite
year.
now.
I'm not sure
Yep.
what that says about me. I look like I'm fucking 40.
No, you don't.
No, the only person that looks like he's 40 is me.
You're not that far off, so-
I mean, you're almost
I'm
40,
not
right?
either.
Zach older than I do, and I know I'm much older than you are.
I'm older than Zach.
I'm 43.
Just the way you said that. I'm 43. like a Harrison Ford, just like
I'm
I'm
43.
43.
No more Star Wars references.
We're all kids in Walter.
Oh no, I'm talking about him
Take
during
all the Star
Fugitive
Wars
during
references
Fugitive
you want.
Games.
Here's the thing, though. I'm gonna say this. Despite what I said, find things to take joy in. Love the things that you love, especially, I mean, the world's a very scary place right now. Just love things. Do things that make you happy. Do it.
No, I hate everything.
And if that makes you happy, do that too.
Contrarianism, go.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I have very, very strong opinions. I mean, I went to film school. I was an English major. That's sort of who I am.
Your
but I try not to be
pedantic film nerd came out tonight, and I have not seen that in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay, because we're very supportive of pretentious crankery. They put up with me all the time.
So
me too.
I actually think that's why Neil and I get along, because even when we differ on things, C and I have very similar pretentious pedantry, so at least we understand one another.
So, man, this episode has honestly flown by for me.
No, this is a good show. I think this
was really a good episode. I mean, it had it all, from me dressing as Spider-Gwen to
Neil and his little Fu Manchu he's got.
Yeah, he's going to try
I'm shaving after the show ends.
Radiac has a comment here. I realize he's joking, but I'm also going to say this, because there's some out there who actually do this seriously. Don't hate watch things. Don't hate read things. Why do you do that? There's other things out there. Spend your time with those.
It's how Velma got renewed.
Yeah. That's how Velma got renewed. Thankfully, it didn't get a third season.
And then canceled, yeah.
Yeah, thank God.
Oh, so that might be because they ordered like 2 seasons, or they ordered 1 season split in 2 for tax reasons, and then called it a day.
Oh, they do that all the time.
Yeah.
That's
Let's see. All right, Zach, put up that.
So we have a voicemail
from our from our benefactor.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give me just a second. I'm gonna combine them into one. That way it's easier.
I have to mute because I feel like
while he's doing that, I feel like, especially after everything I said, I got a little bit personal about George Lucas. I'm gonna say why, and it's actually not really to do with the movies he makes. The reason I have issues with George Lucas as a person is, I feel like if you're gonna put art out there, it's the whole special edition thing. You know what? Make all the versions available. And the big reason why he's not doing that is because he and his wife, Marsha, who edited the original trilogy, well, at least New Hope and Return of the Jedi, had a very bitter divorce. And I hear he won't put that one out there because he wants to keep her name off of it. And I'm thinking, it's a movie, it's a film, it's a cultural institution, regardless of my feelings about it. Just don't do that. Nut up and put it out there.
Yeah. Well, to me, there's no reason for Disney not to put it out there now. Like,
I mean,
McConkie.
Yeah, I mean, all the versions of Blade Runner are available. All the versions of Apocalypse Now are available. I bought the Rings big set, and that's got both the theatrical and the extended editions in there. Do that. Make it all available. Tinker with them as much as you want, but make the originals available.
Yeah. Well, to me, I knew that, like... All right.
What's Javi saying?
Oh, Avi brought up a good point. Don't harass Nick Lowe. Like, even though I think his editorial is ass, and I think that his direction for the Spider-Man has been for the worst, just engaging with him just makes the problem worse.
No,
I think there's a way to give feedback without making it personal.
Well, okay, when he did that one tweet about what was it, the fucking Fleetwood Mac lady, I think.
Stevie Nicks.
No, hang on. Let me go and find the thing. Let's see. Oh, about Brandy or something. And people were just talking about Peter and MJ, and I'm like, what the fuck does that have to do with anything?
No, somebody he did post something about Paul today.
That was funny. That was something I would post. That was actually funny for once.
Yeah, it was trolling. All right, so I've got Walter's voicemails.
Okay, play him.
Time to mute.
All right.
Hi guys, it's Walter.
Can you hear
it? Jack.
I'm the Joker, baby.
It's a 15-minute voicemail of him laughing. I know it.
Why is it something he's making a snuff film?
Maybe he is.
Are we all the sub? Oh my god!
Oh, yeah, he's. Well, he fucked Zach tonight, didn't he? And
Metaphorically.
Zach costume for the occasion.
15-minute voicemail. We are playing on
Hi
air.
guys, it's Walter. Yeah.
Got your holy shit. Okay, let's just end it for the night. This is.
I'm done.
Oh, my back.
While we're doing that, Avi, I do agree though that everything Nick Lowe is an ass to harass Nick Lowe. That being said, if Nick Lowe throws something stupid and offensive out into the ether, he deserves to get a response.
You're a good sport, man.
Yes, he is.
Way to go.
Zach, you were very sexy when Stacy.
Don't see you later.
Venkman's comment. Oh my god.
Okay, for audio listeners, so Walter's gonna need a cigarette after tonight's show.
Walter, we care about your health. Don't smoke.
Could Spider-Man canceled? What a great question. Here's the unfortunate truth. He's $1 billion property. He ain't going away anytime soon.
Nope.
Marvel Mickey Mouse.
Oh boy! With great power comes great responsibility.
That's good.
Who was it good, actually?
Well, Mickey, I think you should shut the fuck up. I'm gonna go see Miss Piggy now.
Shut up! Oh,
Roll the end credits.
all right. So
We're just talking. We're just talking to Yap and like make the
I love it,
airspace not.
Plug. New Voices from the Eyrie episode is coming out on the 22nd, which probably means sunset on the 21st. MIA, it was Jennifer, myself, Greg Guler, and Greg Weisman. So it was Jennifer and the three Gregs.
Okay, cool.
So thank you.
Don't know why I sounded so apathetic.
I was gonna throw that to you, but you already jumped all over. It's fine. So we got to thank our patrons as we get out of here tonight. Patreon.com/
I just realized I accidentally muted you, Zach. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I saw that.
I'm
Allison,
sorry.
Cindy, Ed, Eric, Georgia, Greg, Janelle, Jessica, Joyce, Catherine Kale, Laura Howard, Lump Moose, Master Drama, Phoenician, RJ, Vanessa, and Vicky. Thank you for your support, as well as our spectacular patrons, Sarah and Tara, with our VIPs, Walter, Vinkman, and Scott. Thank you guys for all of your support over on the Patreon page at patreon.com/Spideydude Network, where you get the exclusive Books of X podcast that covers the Krakoan era of X-Men. It's me and Neil.
I know I need to make more.
We do need to make more. Check us out next week when we cover the latest Ultimate issue of Ultimate Spider-Man. As Greg mentioned, we got more Voices from the Eyrie coming up. ASM Classics, CSC Spectacular Radio, Sabi Sim Era Podcast going to be covering Maximum Carnage coming soon. So he's going to be wanting some help on that, I think. So if you have not already, follow us on social medias at Spideydude Radio on X/Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, at Spideydude Network, at Spideydude Official on Instagram. And then you can, if you haven't already, leave us a voicemail again at 818-925-6631. We will play it like we did Walter laughing maniacally on the voicemail. And of course, if you have not already, subscribed to us over on the YouTube page. Find us on youtube.com/Spideydude Radio Network. Thank you guys. If you're watching us live or after the fact, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. And we'll see you next time here on the Spideydude Radio Network.